A beautiful day for baseball here in San Francisco as the Dodgers and Giants get ready to finish up this 4-game series. Let's go down to Alana Rizzo.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. A couple of roster moves for you. Yasiel Puig has been placed on the 10-day disabled list. He's dealing with the sore hip as well as a bruised foot after crashing into the wall and then fouling a ball off of his foot. Brock Stewart is here from Oklahoma City, but keep an eye on Brock Stewart's usage out of the pen because Rich Hill apparently is not going to be making the start on Monday because of an infection on that finger of his throwing hand. So it could either be Brock Stewart or Ross Stripling based on pen usage today.
All right, Alana. Yeah, those little nagging injuries kind of stacking up, piling up here in late April. Chris Taylor climbs in. Ty Block winds up and deals, and off we go with ball one. Perfect Sunday afternoon. Now the Giants took the first game of the series Friday night 6-4. Dodgers exploded in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, 15-6 the win, but an 8-3 loss last night. And now trying to salvage a series split. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It feels like a big game to me. You go to Arizona, you want to salvage a split, but I just think no matter where it sits with the series, it feels like a big game with necessary win.
On a 1-1 pitch, Taylor shows bunt, takes a curve for strike 2. They've dropped 4 of 5, the Dodgers have, and you'd hate to go down to Arizona where the Diamondbacks will have the best record in the National League. Reeling.
No one looks at the standings right now, but 7 out and going there after a loss today and then 4 there.
Taylor went around, 1 gone.
It could get ugly. We'd rather it start to turn around as far as consistency in W's than to worry about something like that.
Corey Seager coming up. We take a look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. He homered against Johnny Cueto yesterday. Good numbers in this series, and quietly over the last couple weeks, good numbers overall. Seager in his last 10 games hitting .364. The first pitch from Ty Block. He's out in front, strike 1.
Corey, one of the guys early in the season where hitting a lot of atom balls. We say he needs some luck, like Yasiel Puig. And all of a sudden, some of those balls started falling in. But also, I think the exit velocity, the solid contact has really gone up.
Yeah, grounding out less, rolling over less, hitting more line drives. Well, he started in San Diego for him a week and a half ago now. Bounces this one back to Block, who has retired the first 2 Dodgers quickly. 27 years old, out of Denver, Colorado, and talked about it off of the top. 1 run in 11 innings against the Dodgers this year. Against everybody else, his ERA is over 6.
Yeah, Dodgers are not slugging against them. A lot of base hits and then a lot of rally killers. 47 innings pitched, 9 double plays when he's faced the Dodgers over the course of his career. So try to get the ball in the air like the common theme is in the big leagues now.
Good to see Kike Hernandez back out there. The doubleheader off yesterday. He was under the weather. Said when the team got to San Francisco on Friday, he was just starting to feel achy. Thought it may just be the aches and pains of the season. But it got worse as the weekend went on. And last night, end of the day, he could hardly walk. But they penciled him in last night, designing the lineup for today. Thankfully, bounced back pretty well overnight. On a 1-1 pitch. Hernandez hits it foul, strike 2.
I hope he feels 75%. Like against a guy like Block, you don't want to be over swinging. Kind of want to stay within yourself, not try and do too much. And I think feeling like I just want to get a nice solid swing, get it on the barrel compared to trying to hit a home run is the right approach.
It's by the hands, 2-2. No sushi involved this time. Previous sicknesses in San Francisco were sushi induced. A 2-2. Full count. Block to Hernandez with a payoff and a 2-out walk to keep the inning going.
Block will do that. The Dodgers have drawn walks against him. They just haven't been able to move anybody around very well.
Brings up Matt Kemp, one of the many guys dealing with little nagging injuries. His was a tight quad on Friday night. So just pinch hit appearances during the doubleheader yesterday. Back in there hitting cleanup this afternoon and taking the first pitch inside ball one. Matt, all his years in the National League West between the Dodgers and the Padres, only one player has played in more games as a visiting player in this ballpark than Kemp. That is Todd Helton, longtime Colorado Rocky. And Matt's always hit well here. It'll be Kenta Maeda on the mound for the Dodgers.
Even though it's so sunny, there's a little chill in the air. Kenta trying to stay loose after warming up in the pen.
60 degrees, first pitch.
And some breeze, though, and it'll be interesting to see how that breeze plays out. You can't always trust the flags here. On the bus ride over, talking to Alex Verdugo about the wind that he experienced last night playing here in right field in San Francisco. He says it was interesting. They told me to just keep tracking the ball. Can't trust the flags.
Yeah, there was an interesting route or two from Alex early in that game.
Some late drifting as he thought he was under it. But that's the way almost all the outfielders have to play the ball here. Different heights, different winds. What you feel on the field is not what's happening in the sky.
Kemp down on strikes. Ty Block with a scoreless first. Kenta Maeda to the mound, trying to help the Dodgers to a series split. Back in a moment. Dodgers and Giants to the bottom of the first inning here in the series finale as Kenta Maeda gets ready to go. And he's put up good numbers against the Giants in a couple of outings this season. In fact, his first start of the year came against San Francisco, and he fanned 10 over 5 shutout innings in that game.
Kenta has thrown the ball really well. Slightly different pitch mix he's going with this year, trying to mix in a little more of the fastball slash cutter, and the changeup, the usage has gone up. I think even some of the movement on that changeup has gotten better.
Giants offense came into the weekend dead last in the majors, averaging just a little more than 3 runs per game. They've scored 20 in the 3 games in this series. Strike one on Gregor Blanco. Get more time in the leadoff role moving forward, and that is not a short-term thing because Joe Panik, they think, has torn a ligament in his thumb and are looking at about a month-and-a-half recovery time. Here's Maeda's 0-1. Fouled off 0-2. This is how it happened, and it seemed harmless enough on a pickoff play at second, trying to tag Puig, but got it just right.
The impact and the angle, and all of a sudden you've got a ligament that is compromised. I don't know if they've announced surgery or not. They're just rehabbing right now, but
getting a second opinion.
Yeah.
Little dribbler. Maeda bare hands, throws Blanco out.
Threw a change up to first base. I don't think he had the full grip on it. Kind of threw a palm ball, and as he felt the grip, he kind of pushed it over there. 5-time Gold Glove winner over in Japan. Shows off his abilities to field his position.
Just enough to get it there. So 1 gone, and Alan Hansen comes up for San Francisco. He's getting the chance today at second base with no panic. Just spot duty in the majors last few years between the Pirates and the White Sox. And then in his first game as a Giant, hit a 3-run home run yesterday.
Bruce Bochy in his post-game interviews was asked about that swing and his potential for power. He kind of giggled a little bit. He goes, "You're gonna hit that one a long way." Maybe not something they were expecting from the young man.
Yeah, hit it to a part of the park you don't often see guys go. On a 1-1 pitch. Falls off the table. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's quite a swing. And quite an experience to be up here in the big leagues and to hit one like this. And they had to look at it, but it was reviewed, and he was told, you have the home run. He was waiting for the review around third base, I think.
Trying to get him to chase a fastball, took it high, 2-2. It's only his 5th career home run. Maeda threw his line in a 2-2 pitch, hit on the ground to Bellinger. 2 up and 2 down. Maeda's last time out Tuesday against Miami held him to a run over 6 innings. And after a really rough start last year, where he had an ERA above 5 in June, he's gotten off to a good start this year. 2-1 record. The ERA's around 3. Channeling some of what he learned in his stint in the bullpen late last year. Utilizing that changeup you were mentioning. With 2 out, it's Buster Posey. Fastball hammered to left center field. Matt Kemp turns and watches this thing short hop the wall. His throw to second, not in time to get Posey, who has a 2-out double.
Kenta attacking with the fastballs. We take a look at the Audi pitch cast, and that one leaks from the outside corner where he was headed to the middle of the plate, to almost the inner half. Posey planted it out there in the left center gap.
That's only his 7th extra base hit of the year. Gives Brandon Belt a 2-out RBI chance. Belt having his best offensive season so far. Just turned 30 years old last weekend. 8th season in the majors. He's homered 6 times. That leads the club. And has a hit in 10 of his last 11 games. Maeda fires him a 1-0 and misses in, ball 2.
He can get scalding hot, and he can go to sleep for a long time. This is a very streaky hitter.
On a 2-0. Climbed the ladder and fouled it back 2-1. He's big. He's 6'5", 225 pounds. He's a first baseman. He hits cleanup. So, now stereotypically, you expect him to be a guy that hits 25, 30 home runs. The problem is he's in this ballpark. It's harder to put up those kinds of numbers. And he's been more of an on-base guy than he's been a power guy.
More like Joey Votto.
And he's specifically said that he's adopted some of what he's learned from watching Joey Votto. But the point is, people have very mixed emotions about Brandon Belt around here in San Francisco. Productive when you're looking at some categories, not as productive in some categories folks think he should be. Chase is here, 2-2. Posey holding at second. Some people think as a cleanup guy he should be more aggressive, and has been more aggressive this year, swinging more than ever before.
There's a lot more risk in being a power hitter than there is someone who concentrates on base percentage. The discipline's a little easier to come by, looking for the perfect pitch and trying to draw a walk also than cutting it loose. A little bigger swing, a little more arc in it. A little more hit or miss with power.
He's got Posey at second with 2 out, and Maeda deals him a 2-2. Got in on him. We'll do it again. He did homer 18 times last year, and that was in an injury-shortened season. What he also did was finish 3rd in the National League in walk rate. You mentioned Joey Votto being an example. Votto led the league. Matt Carpenter of the Cardinals was 2nd, and then it was Bell, which is a very impressive thing. It's just, it's a little odd seeing it from a cleanup hitting first baseman. Two. Just up, full count.
That ball looked like it leaked back over the plate, catching that upper corner. Yeah. Some interesting strike zones here in San Francisco. Wandering around at times.
As he does as often as anybody. Belt has worked it full. Now the 3-2 and a pop-up. We'll do it again.
Saw Belt swing and miss earlier on a changeup in the dirt. They have really pounded him in this at bat and have not gone away from it other than that one pitch.
That was a spot that he worked really hard this offseason to address, a hole in his swing that he's had for much of his career. Shortened his swing, and it's been better on inside fastballs over the first month this year.
He still wraps that bat around his helmet.
Takes ball 4. Couple of 2-out base runners against Maeda. And up comes Evan Longoria. Really starting to heat up for San Francisco.
This ballpark has cost him, I think, at least another 5 home runs compared to what he had at his home field in Tampa. Just in the series alone, he's hit a couple out there that I think would have been gone in Tampa, and I'm sure he's had other home games.
Nightmare start for him in his time in a Giants uniform, but the last 2 weeks, top 5 in the National League with that .357 average, and the number 2 slugging percentage in the National League the last 2 weeks. 2 on, 2 out. Ball 1. "32 years old now, 11th season in the majors. He's an elite offensive player for 6 seasons in the bigs while he was with Tampa Bay. Included a bunch of trips to the postseason. Much closer to average though in recent years. 2 balls, no strikes.
A big man, and the slow start was a little scary because he's getting up there and a veteran that needs to turn his stats around to where he was in his so-called prime.
Yanks one towards the left field corner. It is a foul ball.
Not the quickest of calls from Brian Gorman down there on the third baseline. Ball landed. Matt Kemp staring it down to look at the mark. We'll get a good look at it here. It is foul. I think Brian was just looking at the mark himself after it hit to make sure he got it right. Have a little bit of evidence. We've had a few of these this year where the ball is foul, but the splash makes it look fair.
You know what a little pet peeve is? On very, very close plays like that one, when the umpires give very, very casual signals.
Yeah, I could see that. And I could see calling that fair so the base runners could end up where they are and then coming back and getting it reviewed. That might, you know, I don't know. And then you got the whole thing about enough evidence to overturn it and all that.
That's a lot to think about, right? Mid-flight of the ball.
Well, no, I would think that would something be a pre-play. Umpires pre-play that in their head. If I got one down the line that's really close, I should default to fair. So we're not going to have any problems placing the runners.
So Longoria just misses, giving the Giants a first inning lead. 2 balls and 1 strike. Maeda trying to pitch out of a first inning jam. Fly ball deep left center. Kemp's back on it, shading his eyes. That ball's gone. And Maeda now wishes that the last one was fair. 3-0 San Francisco.
Definitely some wind blowing out and blowing towards left field and towards the left field corner. The ball that ended up foul, I thought was going to be fair easy, got blown foul by a little bit. This ball has good backspin, but Longoria doesn't think he even got it. Kemp doesn't, as he's kind of settling under it, but just has to continue to cruise as that ball got a little boost from wind here in San Francisco.
Brandon Crawford went around strike 1. It's a continuation of game 2 yesterday, where the Giants got all 8 of their runs with 2 out. Maeda had retired the first 2 in this inning on a pair of ground outs. Then a double from Posey, a walk from Belt, and the Longoria homer. Other than 2 on Crawford. Crawford hacks one into right center. Taylor and Hernandez making the catch. Kike Hernandez with a nice play in right, but it comes after the Longoria home run to open the scoring in San Francisco. Second inning here in San Francisco. 3-0 Giants in front. Yasmani Grandal leads off the second against Ty Block. Strike one. Yasmani's cooled off the last few games, hitting .158 over his last 5. 305 average, the lowest that it's been this year. Tapper to short, and Crawford. As we've seen a couple times in this last week, Dave Roberts sliding Cody Bellinger down in the order with the left-hander on the mound. Today hitting 6th.
Giving the young man a little breathing room and not feeling the whole responsibility of batting 4th. Especially if the strikeouts against lefties kind of pile up in key situations. Talked about in game 1 with the core of the order making the routine thing happen when you have a man on second and third, no out, getting the runners over, getting them in. That's one thing that Cody is working on, developing maybe a little tighter swing in those situations. Not the big arcing loop that hits all the home runs, but just one that maybe slashes the ball to left field or hits a routine fly ball to left that gets the run in.
Block brings him a 1-2. Bellinger hits one to left. That is in front of Blanco for a 1-out single. First hit of the day for the Dodgers against Block.
On cue right there, just kind of a little short, make contact. He didn't hit it well, but he gave himself a chance.
That brings up Barnes. Strike one from the 27-year-old out of Denver, who is in his second full season in the majors. Far from overpowering stuff. Kind of the anti-2018 stereotypical pitcher. Very low strikeout totals. Very low home run totals. Ball and a strike on Barnes. It's kind of always been the guy that he has been. Played his college ball at Creighton. Didn't have the stuff that would wow any scouts, but threw strikes, posted, as they say, made more starts than anybody in the country in his final year there. And it was a 5th-round draft pick. To the back door, 1-2. It's a highly regarded prospect for a while because of that command, but struggled in the low minors. Kind of fell off the prospect radar before making his major league debut in September of 2016, doing that against the Dodgers. And firing 8 shutout innings to beat Clayton Kershaw, get his first major league win. That kind of set the tone for what he's done against the Dodgers in his 2+ seasons now. In fact, among pitchers that have made at least 5 starts, he has the #1 Giants ERA against the Dodgers since the teams moved west. Barnes hits it in the air to right. Austin Slater, 2 out. How many guesses would it take you to come up with Ty Block as the answer to that trivia question?
A lot.
Yeah.
Go Matt Cain or Bumgarner. Or go back to even Mike Krukow, who's sitting next door to us. Anybody. Dave Dravecki.
141 ERA as a starter against the Dodgers.
Talk about first impressions, you know. Beat Clayton Kershaw. All of a sudden, I like facing this Dodger blue uniform. And it can happen over the course of a career. There's just certain cities or certain uniforms you just do well against, and you actually do have a good feeling when you're out there on the field against them.
Misses low with his first one to Kyle Farmer. Now back down the hill with a 1-0, and that's low as well, ball 2. Opening day starter this year at Dodger Stadium. 5 shutout innings. Gave up 3 hits. 2 of them were to Kershaw. And then faced the Dodgers again on April 8th and held them to a run over 6 innings. Farmer looks at a strike, 2-1. I think probably the opposite of that good feeling you're talking about that's developed for Block against the Dodgers is on the Dodgers side. It starts to become a thing when you've seen a guy 5 or 6 times and not had any success. Farmer hits it softly to third, where a charging Longoria scoops and throws to get him. And we go to the bottom of the second with Block and the Giants ahead 3-0.
Longoria home run, but let's take a look at the Volkswagen replay to Brandon Belt. This could have been strike 3. Sometimes you lose more than just a pitch, a ball, or a strike. If that is a strike, he's out of the inning. He ended up having the home run hit off him and throwing 8 more pitches. We'll see how that affects him and how it affects the outcome of this whole game.
Giants have won 5 of 7. And they're trying to get the record to 500 today, sitting at 13-14. It's a whole lot better than they finished last year. Tied for the worst record in baseball at 64-98. Second worst record they've had since moving to San Francisco. Only year that they were worse was 1985 when they lost exactly 100. Dodgers beat them by 40 games last year. A long history of this rivalry. That's the biggest gap between the teams back to 1890. Austin Slater leads off the second for the Giants. Maeda delivers, and then there was strike 1. Other than 2.
Game 2 yesterday, Dodgers broke on top again, 2-0. Giants came back with 3 in the 5th to lap them. Dodgers going to have to turn that around. Answer to that 3 spot. Good call that didn't go Maeda's way in the first inning on Bell. Relates a little bit to when opponents score first against the Dodgers. Dodgers are 1-10.
Austin Slater starting the second. Yeah, taking a ball outside, 1-2. Maeda's next one. He's barely got a piece to stay alive. Dodgers have dodged a bit of a bullet in this series, not having to see Mac Williamson, who the Giants people are really excited about. Overhauled his swing in the offseason, using the same swing coach that Justin Turner overhauled his with. Very similar swings now. Very good results through 1 week in the majors, but Williamson's been on the concussion protocol. And that's why Slater's in there. This is how Williamson was hurt on Tuesday against Washington on a Bryce Harper pop-up, stumbling over the bullpen mound, crashing into the sidewalk.
Yeah, the wall is padded, but the bullpen mound there, it gets very difficult. You run full speed, change your elevation with your knees and your feet. Boy, you lose your balance in a hurry.
Maeda wanted that one at the bottom of the zone. We saw him, as you detailed, in the belt at bat. Failed to get a call on a high strike. Didn't get the low strike either. And now the 8th pitch to Austin Slater. Ground ball left side off of Farmer on the base hit.
Topper, but it was hit hard, and you've got to try for that, because if Seager gets it in the hole, I'm not sure he can throw Slater out, so Farmer probably was the only one that could have got him.
Third Giants hit already, and here's Gorkis Hernandez. Breaking ball nowhere close, 1-0.
Giants wore out that 6-hole yesterday with Alex Wood. That hit there hit a little bit harder than the balls that were hit off Alex. But still, the Giants are finding some holes.
It was like paper cut after paper cut yesterday before they finally broke it open. Ties him up. Went around, 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Wood is now 0-3 this year. He didn't get his 3rd loss last year until September 9th. A lot of that is complete lack of run support.
He and Clayton Kershaw in the bottom 10 or top 10, whatever way you want to put it, in run support.
Nice stab at third by Farmer to get the out at second. He's just been so steady, quietly, but so steady wherever he's been this year.
He's very impressive. And on a consistent basis, he's never going to do anything flashy, but I guess you could consider this upper echelon and flashy, but you're just not going to see the extra foot speed or the unbelievable range or a gun arm that's going to be in the top 10, but you're going to see everything above average from Kyle Farmer.
First opening day roster for him this year. He's been an important piece, especially with all the injuries the Dodgers have had. Ty Blach shoots a ground ball to second. Barnes to Seager for 1, and he turns it to first, a double play. 4-6-3 allows Maeda to face the minimum here in the second. Off and rolling in San Francisco in a 3-0 game after 2. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. I think part of the reason that the inconsistencies early this season have been so maddening is that the Dodgers have shown flashes of an ability to be a big-time offense. First 10 innings yesterday, they had 17 runs on 23 hits. In the 10 innings since, 1 run on 4 hits. And so those flashes that they have make it pretty maddening when they go into slumps like they have. 9-1-2 against Block here in the third. His first one to Kenta Maeda is a strike. Now breaking pitch 0-2. Puts it in play to short. Crawford waits on it. 1 out.
Block had the easy part of the equation there with Kenta leading off, but Dodgers have really failed against him to get the leadoff hitter on. Hard to get guys around, advance them 90 feet when you don't have any outs to do it. 3 of 14 leadoff hitters this year are all that have reached against him.
Got Taylor swinging his first time. Tried to lay off with a check swing, but first base umpire Trip Gibson said that he went around. Taylor does have a home run against Block. Takes ball 1. Told the story yesterday of Chris Taylor always knowing that he wanted to be a big leaguer. His very first word, ball. First sentence, I want the ball.
Oh, wow.
Always had a bat and ball in his hand, starting at about age 2, growing up in Virginia. On a 2-0 from Block. Strokes one on the ground to a well-positioned Hansen at second. 2 out. You tell stories like that about a lot of these guys, right? Corey Seager, there's a story about him crying when they made him take his spikes off going to kindergarten for the first time.
Well, it starts with love of the game and passion before it starts to whittle down. Do you have enough ability? They're proving that early.
Grounded back to Block his first time. 5 of the 8 outs have been ground outs. Breaking ball taken. It's 1-1.
More breaking balls from Block to lefties. Righties will see more change-ups when it comes to off-speed stuff.
Here comes his 2-1. And Seager strokes one to center, but Hernandez is there. And that's the inning. Dodgers down in order in the third, trailing 3-0.
baseball roots at his family's home in Arizona and reflects on winning that 2017 Rookie of the Year award. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Beautiful afternoon here in San Francisco. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Dodgers trying to salvage a series split to open this road trip before the 4 games in Phoenix, 3 games in Monterrey, Mexico against San Diego next weekend. Top of the order against Maeda, Gregor Blanco. Kenta's first pitch is a strike. Giants got their runs on a Longoria homer in the first inning. Maeda had retired the first 2, including Blanco on groundouts, before a Posey double and a belt walk set the table for Longoria. Breaking pitch, quickly 0-2.
Blanco regrouping mentally there. Didn't like that curveball for a strike call.
Breaks a fastball to second. Barnes.
Kenta Maeda on normal rest and a rotation, only 4 days rest. His ERA on 5+ days of rest is a point lower. So here we are on what is considered normal rest, and be interesting just to watch his endurance and the sharpness of his pitches. So far, I'd say he's throwing the ball really well. Just the pitch to Longoria wasn't sharp enough slider, not down enough. He easily could have been out of that inning if he'd have gotten the call from the umpire that the computer told us was a strike.
Computer doesn't lie.
Oh.
Hansen pops it up. Right field, Kike Hernandez. 2 up and 2 down. Do you think we ever get to computerized strike zones officially?
I think we might.
Yeah.
I think we might. It's really interesting because, you know, we are showing the audience and ourselves that what the lasers say, but then we have possibly another call. So might get to a little vibrator thing on the umpire's hip that tells him that was a strike, and then he raises his arm, stays involved with other parts of the game there behind the plate.
Maeda to Posey. Ball 1.
Does it really help the game and draw fans and make it more fun to get a strike or a ball call wrong?
I think the unpredictability of it might.
Might. And that's, I think, a big part of the equation then, the answer to that question.
And just like having different ballparks is part of the beauty of the game, different strike zones.
I can definitely tell you, I think a general feel in my day through, let's just pick most of the 80s and then all of the 90s, there was a different strike zone early in the game compared to the 7th inning on in a tight game. I thought there was a different strike zone in blowouts. I thought there was different strike zone for slightly guys that are projected to be Hall of Famers compared to the rookie.
Here comes a 2-1 to Posey.
Not something drastic where you could actually plot it, but I think just the bias in your mind made you think in reality that it was happening.
And shouldn't that be part of the game?
In some ways it should. I mean, you know, Pete Rose should have got the benefit of the doubt on the borderline call. Mike Schmidt, Gary Carter.
Good changeup, 3-2. And even if they're really not, the fact that we can have those discussions and argue over it, that'd be gone with a laser strike zone.
And the stuff you talk about around the water cooler, or if you're at the bar or at a party watching a ball game or hanging out, those kind of debates actually raise the fun and the popularity of the game.
Maeda looking for his first 1-2-3 frame of the day, but he walks Posey, missing just up.
But every generation gets used to technology in a different way, right? So 10-year-old kids right now are the 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds that are getting used to and have going to always have a phone and maybe an iPad if they're fortunate, been around a computer. They might get to a point where they enjoy the game more when the strike zone is perfectly called.
Giants trying to do what they did in the first against Maeda. That is rally with 2 out after he got the first 2 hitters of the inning. Wraps a breaking pitch around the plate for ball 1 on Bell. Crushed to right. Hernandez turns and watches it ricochet off the wall to center. Posey headed for the plate. They've done it again with 2 out. 4-0 on a Belt double.
This ball is well struck. He is one of the best low fastball hitters in the big leagues, and Kike does an amazing job trying to deke the runner, and then Taylor does a great job coming over and playing the carom. Ball's crushed is right, Joe, because you know if there's a little wind coming off the water, that ball went right through it.
Almost a mirror image of the first inning. Longoria flips it into short right field. Hernandez charges on and makes a running catch to end the inning. But the Giants add 1 and a Belt double and lead 4-0 after 3. Welcome inside. Joe Davis and Al Hershiser, and once again the Dodgers searching against Ty Blach.
Yeah, Ty Blach keeps them off balance. They can't get the leadoff hitter on. He's getting a lot of ground balls. Double play ball they need to stay away from, and they're going to need that offense and do exactly the opposite of that to get enough runs to beat them today. This 4 spot up there right now, it doesn't seem insurmountable, but it's going to get late early here after a doubleheader yesterday that they were hoping to sweep after just obliterating the Giants in game 1. The Dodger offense has not woken up very much in the last 11 innings they've played.
Only 1 hit today came from Cody Bellinger on a bloop single in the second as Kike Hernandez takes a curve for a strike. And you set it off at the top. While it is only game 27, feels like an important one in the context of this road trip. And what comes next?
You get to a point where if you've struggled long enough and been inconsistent enough, it takes more than winning a series really to get out of it. You have to win, 3-4 series in a row.
Nice play by Blach. Wow.
You got a team like Arizona now that you're going to go play that has been winning series after series after series, and they look like they're going to be consistent, at least unless they get some tough injuries or fall on some hard times, but right now they are the class of the division. So 7 games back. We don't look at standings this early, but when you're 7 back and you're going to head into their town, yeah, I think you look at it.
One away for Kemp. Strike one. Yeah, they've won 9 consecutive series to open the year, which is the 2nd longest series winning streak to open a season in the history of baseball. Go back to the 1907 Chicago Cubs, who won their first 11 series en route to a world championship. 1 ball and 1 strike on Kemp. Robbie Ray started today for Arizona, left the game with an oblique injury. But that's been one of the impressive things about Arizona, is that they've been doing all this without Ray being very good, without Greinke being quite himself. Kemp in the air down the right field line. There's Slater for the 2nd out. They've done it without Jake Lamb much of the year. They've done it without Steven Souza for any point during the year. So they're nowhere close to full strength and still have the best record in baseball entering the day. Series probables against the Diamondbacks, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. It was supposed to be Rich Hill tomorrow, but as Alana told you, doesn't look like he's going to make that start with an infection in his finger. They'll get Greinke in that series opener. Grandal breaks his bat on a shot to the hole at short. Crawford gets him. 8 pitches for Ty Blach to retire the side in order.
Rival Arizona Diamondbacks Thursday afternoon at 12:30 for this week's MLB Facebook Watch Game. Follow MLB Live on Facebook to catch exclusive national games broadcasted all season long.
And yes, we'll be calling that game with Alana. Rich Waltz doing play-by-play. Eric Burns giving the Diamondback side of it.
If we ask that question to Eric Burns on the Facebook game about the strike zone be electronic, he could probably talk for about 2 or 3 innings. He is very motivated. He wants more electronics in the game.
Brandon Crawford bunts the first pitch of the inning right back to Maeda. So you know how to get a bathroom break out of it if you need to. You just get him going on the strike zone. And
yes, folks, we are going to talk straight through. I think there's going to be topics coming from Facebook or questions. So yeah, if I want a bathroom break, I will plant that question and just get up.
Good to have a strategy going in.
I got to find some other topics. I'm going to do some more research.
Well, how many times are you going to go to the bathroom in a game? I think you just need that one.
I might need other breaks. Peanut M&Ms or something.
Austin Slater here with 1 out. There's a cough button for that.
Okay.
Breaking ball 1-0. Cuts outside, ball 2. Three in the first, 1 in the third, all with 2 out. Maeda downhill with the 2-0, and Slater watches ball 3. Maeda came into the game top 5 in the National League in strikeout percentage, but he's yet to strike anybody out in this one.
31 strikeouts and 20 1/3 innings coming in.
It's quite a list of guys he's with too. When you're looking at who else is at the top in strikeout percentage, he's behind Scherzer, Corbin, and Ray. This is 3-1. Inside for ball 4, 1 out walk.
Why the big jump in strikeouts and more effective against left-handers? Heater up, change up, down is getting a lot more swings and misses.
I know you got to take a look at the article on The Athletic by Daniel Brim. Great work on there, which does a really nice job of diving into the details of how Maeda has been able to increase the strikeouts. Part of it's been that revamped changeup. 1 on 1 out. Gorkis Hernandez out of the 8th spot. Takes inside, ball 1. Ball on a strike.
Benson not getting a lot of swings and misses today, but when he has, over 50% of them have been on the changeup. Fastball's only been swung and missed at once. The slider, which usually is effective, twice, and the changeup 4 out of 5 pitches. And they swung the bat at it, have been missed.
5 out of 6.
Exactly. Thing is outstanding. Kind of a, it's not an okay changeup. It's not a split finger. It's kind of a modified split finger, a Foch. Just a grip he's experimented with. And he's getting a lot of good action, and he's putting that reliever arm speed into it.
A Foch. I haven't heard it called that. Strike 3 on a fastball, his first of the day.
Fastball up and does hit the corner.
So at 2 outs, it's the opposing pitcher Ty Block. Nice pick by Grandal to keep Austin Slater down at first. Part of it is what I had to learn and really cutting loose when he moved to the bullpen and transferring some of that mentality to the starter's role. Like we've talked about, the changeup, especially against left-handed hitters. The other thing that deserves credit for the big jump in swings and misses. Slater at first with 2 out. The 1-1. Block hits it to center. Chris Taylor back to leap and catch it. That thing kept going, and the ball seems to be flying really well today in San Francisco. Perhaps boding well as the Dodgers try to get the offense going to come from behind, down 4-0.
Today, getting a lot of ground balls, hitting the edges, looking like he's going to go away to most righties, but he'll also come in and jam you. And wow, has he been really good this year against the Dodgers. Now we're up to 15 innings and only 1 run. 4 goose eggs been put up there today, and he is on the mound feeling very good.
You know, Ty Blach is naturally right-handed.
He and Pablo Sandoval?
How about that, huh? He does everything else right-handed. That includes throwing a football.
Wow.
When he was a young boy, he was playing catch with a family friend named John at a cookout. And every time that he'd pick the ball up with his right hand, John would tell him, put it down, pick it up again with your left hand and throw it back to me. And John was mostly just messing around, but he was saying, hey, look, Ty, left-handers are better commodities in baseball. We're going to make you into one. And people were giving John a hard time, like, what are you doing with the kid? It started as a joke, but he was feeling good doing it. Soon it became habit, became natural. And Ty Blach, left-handed major league pitcher, delivers a strike to Cody Bellinger, and away we go in the 5th.
Not to get on Ty, but you know, now that you tell me that story, and I've heard it one time before, I think he does look like a righty trying to throw left-handed. You know, he just kind of takes the ball out of his glove like if he's a left-handed catcher, kind of takes it up to his ear, and looks like it's not a fluid delivery where it comes natural.
1-2. Yeah, you're right.
Like he's throwing a dart. You know, he doesn't really create a lot of angle with his hips and his legs like he's really driving to the mound. He's kind of posting up on his legs and then just throwing a dart.
Yeah, not the most
even the
fluid
posture
thing.
there.
Right.
Got a sore back.
This is for this one. And you mentioned Pablo Sandoval. Pablo Sandoval, a natural left-hander that wanted to play shortstop and catcher as a kid, so his grandpa taught him to throw right-handed. Bellinger turns this one around to deep right center field. Slater's sprinting back. It's over his head, right up into the triangle, and Bellinger starts the 5th with a double. For the Dodgers, 2 hits against Blach, and Bellinger's got them both.
2:05 start here this afternoon. Maybe this is a wake-up call for the Dodgers. Cody goes down to his knees to get under that one and elevate it. Speaking of lefties and righties and righties and lefties, that looked a little bit like Adrian Beltre's swing when he goes down to go get it.
Don't touch his head. Well, brings up Barnes in a 4-0 game in the 5th inning. Takes a first pitch changeup low.
You make a swing like that from Bellinger, so your eyes tell you got to get down. You're in the middle of your swing. Your head and your eyes are going down, and the way you get down there is you start to collapse your knees. It takes some ability.
And then to still hit it 400 feet.
Yeah, and to keep the bat moving with tremendous bat speed. That you're breaking down your swing in a way, and all of a sudden, take a look at the Carl's cam. You just collapse the backside so that you can get to the meat of the ball with the barrel of the bat. That's some athleticism.
Strike 2 on Barnes. Yeah, he really is a beautifully graceful athlete. See that in his footwork over at first base often. Barnes trying to at least get him over. Blocks 1-2. Got him swinging.
We see the disgust in the body language from Austin Barnes after this strikeout. In some ways, just very frustrated on swinging at that pitch, and then very frustrated not getting Bellinger over.
Barnes, a guy who really prides himself in doing the little things, especially when he's not hitting for average like right now. Farmer comes up, takes a ball. Grounded to third his first time up. Blocks 1-0. Breaking ball, strike 1. Farmer rips one to short. Diving Crawford back to second, double play. Nothing going the Dodgers' way right now. 4-0, halfway home.
The Dodgers in the 1988 World Series team is going to be reunited at 4 o'clock, an alumni game. If you're one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance, you also receive a 60th anniversary cap. It's all part of Alumni Weekend presented by Security Benefit. Visit Dodgers.com/alumni game.
Can you wear your Coogee sweater?
I am. I think I'm going to wear it most of the day unless my old teammates get tired of it.
Can you wear it during the alumni game, please?
I don't know what I should do. Maybe when they come out to take me out of the game, they, instead of bringing me a jacket, they bring me that sweater.
Or if you get on base, you put it on.
Oh,
right?
yeah. If I get on base, I put the sweater on. That'd be hilarious.
5th inning, 4-0. Giants in front. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Lana Rizzo. The 10th meeting already between these teams. Giants have won 5 of the first 9. This is only the 2nd time in baseball history the two teams will have played 10 times against one another before the end of April. Now, the schedule starting extra early this year. There are several different teams that are going to have that happen. Gregor Blanco takes strike 1. It's odd, right? I mean, you see each other 10 times in the first month. They don't play again until mid-June at Dodger Stadium, and the Dodgers don't make their next trip here until the final 3 days of the season.
It is odd, and you do get years like this.
Blanco to right center field. Hernandez not going to get there. Taylor able to cut it off. Blanco flying out of the box. Barnes relay to third. Not in time.
Gregor Blanco hit it in an outstanding spot. Dodger defense shallow in right field. He doesn't really drive the ball there. Kike makes an outstanding effort at the ball. Chris Taylor backs him up, and the relays almost work. Chris Taylor gets it in. The feed to Kyle Farmer was very, very close. He's set up for a forehand dive. That's why he's on the inside part there. You don't take the backhand side of the bag with the runner who's coming around the corner. You might hit him in the back, so you go to the inside there and almost got him.
And now Alan Hansen with the infield pulled in, takes a ball.
So close. All the things you work on in spring training and throughout the year, make those bang bang plays go your way. Quite a read by Gregor Blanco. You don't want to make the first or third out at third base. Oh, a whisker.
Strike 1. On a 2-1 pitch. It's tapped foul, 2-2. Maeda could really use a strikeout here. Only has one of them through 4 innings today. Good stop by Grandal.
Osmani and Kenta understanding it. They're getting the most of their swings and misses with that changeup. Went with it right there. Wouldn't be surprised they come back with it 3-2. Already down 4-0. Not as much risk. The risk is another crooked number, but there's already a 4 spot up there. You really want to take the risk to save this run.
Did go back to it to get him for the first out of the 5th.
Might not be a split finger, but it sure has a lot of action like a split finger. Ball comes out of his hand looking like it should be a fastball and just buries.
So Maeda gets the first out of the inning. Now it's Posey with the infield still drawn in. Getting into the part of the lineup that's done all the damage today. 3, 4, and 5. Posey a double, a walk, and he scored twice. Bounces one to third, and that's not going to do it. Farmer throws him out. 2 away.
Cody Bellinger had the double last inning. Dodgers weren't able to move him over. Thought that might get him kick-started. Now stranding the runner at third in this inning. Maybe that gets him kick-started. Got to get in the dugout first.
Felt like Posey was reached both times. A walk and an RBI double. Fastball for strike 1.
We talked about the difference between his approach of going for on-base percentage or power right here. On-base percentage not a bad thing to go for. Maybe a little slash to the left slide he would be looking at, but in some ways a lot of the guys around the San Francisco Giants maybe think that he doesn't think the game of baseball completely. Sometimes he's bunting in situations where they need a home run. Sometimes he's looking for the walk when they need him to hit just a sac fly. Getting him to understand the tools and what is he doing to apply himself to the game might increase his production.
Maeda trying to pitch around that leadoff triple. Here he comes with an 0-2. Ball 1. Longoria due next. Dodgers haven't gotten Belt out since the beginning of the second game yesterday. He's reached in each of his last 5 plate appearances. Here comes the 1-2. Just misses up. Very similar to the location that was called ball 4 against him back in the first in front of the Longoria homer.
Dan Iasonia does not like the two-seamer that comes back from Kenta Maeda to Brandon Belt. That is another squeeze.
It's like the same exact spot from the first inning. Now the 2-2. Change up taken in the dirt.
First one that we had as a strike on television cost him 3 runs. The home run to Longoria and 8 pitches. So far this one that we had as a strike has cost him at least 1 pitch. This is the second one coming up.
Longoria due next in a 4-0 game in the 5th. Blanco's at third with 2 out. Maeda deals the payoff. Belt fouls it.
As a pitcher, in your mind's eye now, when you're not getting that call, even though you've executed it well, you have the frustration of not getting the call. And then in the last pitch right there, they came back to the same spot, but Yasmani had to have his glove a little bit more in the middle of the plate. See, the whole glove's on the plate now.
Belt to right. Hernandez makes a diving catch to end the inning. So he is able to dance around the leadoff triple with no damage, overcoming the borderline call once again going against him. Hernandez with a web gem. Still 4-0. But he sends Kenta Maeda up to bat for himself, leading off the 6th. He takes ball 1. Kent's has only thrown 79 pitches. You're in need of some offense, but the pitch count well within range for him, and the bullpen has been bad lately. So Dave Roberts sticks with Maeda. 1-1.
It's interesting because you do need the offense. The offense has been sporadic, but so has the bullpen. So it's almost like a coin flip.
Maeda hits it on the ground to third, knocked down by Longoria. 1 away.
The pieces that have been effective coming out of the bullpen, you really might not want to overwork going into Arizona. You got a starting pitcher out there that really has been effective other than a 1 long ball. Some tight calls by the home plate umpire that have put him in those jams.
And when you're looking at pinch hitters, all 4 options are left-handed, and they still have the left-handed block on the mound. Top of the order, 3rd time through. See if the Dodgers can figure him out. Coming inside to Chris Taylor, who takes it on the corner for a strike. Tie block now this season, 1 run over 16 innings against the Dodgers. An ERA of 6.20 against everybody else. Curves it low, 1-1.
He's done a nice job to the right-handers, kind of living away and out there, and then every once in a while taking a shot inside.
Posey wants it down, left it up a little bit, and Taylor made him pay, hitting it down the left field line. He's got extra bases. A 1-out double for Chris Taylor.
Buster Posey knew it needed to be in the dirt, but this is above the knee. Chris Taylor with the nice arcing swing, gets under it, hooks it down the line, and see if the Dodgers can get a hit with a runner in scoring position.
See if they can get a hit with a runner on. Had a few opportunities today, but hitless once they've gotten somebody on base. Block to Seager. At the knees for a strike. Corey's average was at 200, a little less than 2 weeks ago, but hitting above 360 his last 10 games. A guy the Dodgers badly need to be himself. Curve is away. It's 1-1. It's a really good sign last night, seeing him rip that home run against Johnny Cueto.
Gets that home run swing on a roll, change the complexion of the game right here.
Able to lay off. 2-1. Statistics will tell you that after the first pitch of the at-bat, Corey Seager is the best hitter in baseball at differentiating between ball and strike. Taylor at second with 1 out. Takes a strike in the corner. Not much you could have done with that. 2-2.
Just catches the edge.
Perfect.
You don't want to hit that one anyway.
Now a 2-2. Seager pops it into left field. Gregor Blanco 2 away.
They haven't got many leadoff hitters on against Block, and they haven't got many hits with runners in scoring position.
Hernandez with 2 out. Second time in as many innings they've had a man in scoring position with less than 2 out. And try to cash in for the first time as Block comes home and Hernandez takes low.
Overall, statistically, this is where Block really has had trouble this year, with men on and with men in scoring position.
He's been a lot better out of the windup.
The league's almost hitting 400. They're hitting 370 often with runners in scoring position.
Here's his 1-0. Hernandez pokes it. 1-1. But like Seager, Hernandez has started to heat up. His last 8 games above 400 with a couple home runs. And on a 1-1 pitch, watches a curve miss. Two-one. Tries to lay off and does. Ball 3.
Good take. Again, not a pitch you can do much with other than maybe slap it into right field. Ike looking for the ball up, but not looking for it off the plate up.
Taylor with a 1-out double. He's at second, and now a 3-1 to Hernandez. Ripped by Crawford into left. Taylor's in to score. Kike Hernandez with a 2-out RBI single. And the Dodgers finally break through against Block in the 6th.
Slightly elevated breaking ball to Chris Taylor. Got him a double. And this ball, Kike Hernandez with great patience. Not offering it one away before, but this one kind of down and down the middle. Gets under it and rips it. Fortunately, the Gold Glover, Brandon Crawford, does not snag it.
Boy, that's a play that through the years we've come to expect Crawford to make. Shouldn't probably expect him to make it, but he's as good as anybody there.
Ended the last inning with a kind of a diving stop double play on a line drive from Farmer.
Strike 1 on Matt Kemp. Well, the numbers holding true in one regard against Block, and that is 3rd time through the order the Dodgers starting to hit him. Kemp behind it, 0-2. Question will be, can they make up enough ground? Trailing 4-0 coming into this inning. Getting 1 on the Hernandez RBI single. He's at first with 2 gone and an 0-2. Way high. Kemp rips one to left center field. That is down for a base hit. Hernandez headed for 3rd, and they're at the corners with 2 out.
Dodgers starting to make a little noise here with 3 hits in the inning, 1 extra base hit. Matt Kemp with a very good swing. Giants trying to come inside on him. Don't get it there. He puts it in the left center gap.
Yeah, gets the tying run to the plate in the form of Yasmani Grandal. First 2 times through the order, Dodgers were 2 for 17. This 3rd time through the order, so far they're 3 for 4.
A little less stuff coming from the mound, a little less change of speed, a little less accuracy, capitalizing on the mistakes.
They've got their RBI leader coming up in Grandal. Driven in 19 this season. He's cooled off some over the last week or so, but consistently from opening day to now has been the top Dodger hitter. He takes a strike. First time the averages dip below 300 for him. Quickly 0-2. That's Muncy in the on-deck circle. That's in Bellinger's spot. Randall strikes out swinging. The Dodgers get one, but leave two to the bottom of the sixth. 4-1. Get that far, but he comes in and replaces him at first. And Bellinger, who is 2 for 2 today with a single and a double, is out of the game.
If he was really hurt as far as physically, maybe he'd be in the locker room getting treatment. Maybe some of the flu bug has gotten to him.
Could be. Evan Longoria coming to the plate here with the Giants in front 4-1. We take a look at the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. His first inning home run against Kenta Maeda that made it 3-0.
It stings because it's a home run, and it really stings because Kenta should have been out of the inning with a fastball to Brandon Belt that looked like it should have been called a strike. But then the inning continued and Longoria capitalized.
Fights off the first pitch, strike one. Doesn't it seem like, though, if it was some kind of bug that he wouldn't be in the dugout anymore? Typically you go back, start getting fluids in you. And
it's very odd to have somebody removed and then just be there. We will know more on the post-game show, or maybe sooner.
No balls, 2 strikes as Kenta Maeda keeps on working. Hit for himself in the top of this inning to allow himself to keep pitching. He's only thrown 81 pitches. And doing his best to keep the Dodgers within striking distance in this series finale. Oh, 2.
The changeup has gotten so good for Kenta, especially today, that he's throwing it to righties or lefties.
Longoria hits a high fly ball to deep center. Taylor's back in front of the wall to catch it for the first out.
The 60th anniversary collector's card set series presented by 76 celebrates every decade the team has been in LA. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on May 8th when the Dodgers host the Diamondbacks and receive a card set from the 80s. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Yes, the Diamondbacks again. They'll have played 12 times by the end of the first week of May. Crawford 0 for 2 so far.
That's what makes the below 500 record sting a little bit more. The guys you're going to either have to catch or compete against.
There's that change up for a strike. I figured Crawford is due to get going soon. Looks at a strike 0-2. Got the hit above 270 a couple years ago. Below 200 right now with a 4 for 40 slide. And an 0-2 from Maeda. Takes it in the dirt, ball 1.
If he has a down year offensively, say he ends up at 235 or 230, but plays Gold Glove shortstop, Giants will take that. They'll miss that extra offense, but they would take that.
And he has won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves. And he spends a lot of time on his defense. He says the key, the footwork. Change up strikes him out. 2 away in the 6th.
It's the changeup. Wow. The exceptional movement on it allows it to start up higher, which the hitter reads as a possible fastball that's elevated, and they want to try and elevate the ball. But then that thing drops so much. It's like a left-handed curveball.
Trying to retire Slater for the first time. Sam Dyson down to the Giants pen. I know it's a modified split grip, but that's a pitch that you see a lot of pitchers come from Japan already with in tow, as a split finger. This wasn't anything close to that before altering it prior to this year.
You get more of the okay changeup.
2-1.
With 3 fingers deflecting the ball or even behind the ball. Now barely gets any fingers behind it. The ball's kind of slipping through and gaining a lot of side spin. I will tell you this, that every pitcher throws every pitch and has experimented with every grip. It's, can I do it consistently? Am I getting the action I want compared to what else is going on in my arsenal? And what is the strain on my arm with this new grip? And that's the question I'm going to ask him between this start and the next one is, what's the strain on your arm with that changeup? Because it's so good right now that if it isn't strenuous, if it doesn't tighten his forearm or feel like it's really strenuous to do and you can do it for more than 15, 20 pitches, you might see the use of it even go up more.
It's his 4th walk of the day, his season high. Second one that Slater's drawn. It brings Gorkis Hernandez up with 2 gone in the 6th. Strike 1. Ty Blach is on deck. He's thrown 85 pitches. And there is action down in the bullpen. A similar decision perhaps for Bruce Bochy coming up. Made a lot easier if Hernandez makes the final out. 2-1. Kenta's grunt game has been on today. Fly to center field. Chris Taylor ends the inning. Maeda really kept them close this afternoon. It's 4-1 after 6. After today's game, 4 with the Diamondbacks beginning tomorrow night. Then on to Mexico for the series with the Padres over the weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon before they fly home to play guess who? The Diamondbacks. Or 2 more. Ty Blach out there for the 7th in a 4-1 game. Max Muncy, who checked in for Cody Bellinger, still not sure exactly why. Bellinger had 2 of the Dodgers' 5 hits. Ball 1. Shattered bat. Spinner to third. Longoria across his body, not in time. Muncy beats it out. That bat exploded.
You got the bat, you got the spin, you got the angle that Longoria has to chase this ball down and then throw across his body to get across the diamond. Max Muncy gets a little bit of a head start from the left-hand batter's box, but you get jammed that much, you don't get out of the box very fast, but he beats it out. Lumbering down the line.
And it looks like that is going to spell the end of Ty Blach. So Muncy with a base hit. He's 3 for 6 in this series. Blach the Parks to a good hand. Dodgers will try and get it done against the Giants bullpen. Sam Dyson has pitched all 3 days in this series now, with a scoreless inning on Friday and a scoreless inning in Game 2 yesterday, despite coming into the game inheriting a 1-0 count.
Going to face Austin Barnes. He is up a 172 average against righties this year so far. Lefties have kind of owned him, over 400, but the last 7 lefties he's faced have not reached base. But he's got a couple of righties in a row here with Barnes and Farmer.
And then the pitcher's spot. So Dyson to Barnes. Fastball high, 1-0. Barnes 0 for 9 in this series. Does have a few walks, has been hit twice. Two and 0. Got tails in there for strike 1.
Very good movement. A 2-0 pitch that was absolutely perfect. Get too aggressive on that pitch, you might hit into a double play.
Here comes Dyson's 2-1. Barnes pops it up and foul ground to the bullpen and into the seats. So 2-2. Dave Roberts has pulled Kyle Farmer back from the on deck circle and put Jock Peterson there.
You look at the splits and you got the whole left-handed bench. Yasiel Puig injured now, so that takes away one of your right-handed bats. Verdugo's over there, Utley's over there, Jock still.
After falling behind 2-0, Dyson now at 2-2 delivers. Barnes hits a Baltimore chop. He's got to wait forever for it to come down, and his only play is at first. So Muncy into scoring position. And with 1 out, here comes Peterson. Jock with his first career 4-hit game in Game 1 yesterday. Drove in 4. Taking advantage of some more playing time over the last week. He'll continue to get more with Yasiel Puig on the disabled list. Dyson's pitch. Strike 1. Oh, 2.
Jock's going to need a new bat. Chase Utley in the on deck circle.
Reason being, Oral, against Sam Dyson in his career. Chase Utley 4 for 5 with 2 home runs. Adam Liberatore down in the Dodger bullpen. I'd love to be able to get Jock on and have Chase Utley in that history representing the tying run against Dyson. Oh, 2. Taken in the dirt. Ball 1.
Nice effort by Kenta Maeda. 3-run homer by Longoria, the largest scar, but other than that, very consistent.
Yeah, really just that one big swing.
Quite have the put away pitch that he's had in his earlier outings. Still a solid job.
Back-to-back changeups taken in the dirt, and the count evens at 2-2. Giants trying to make it 6 wins out of their last 8 games. Trying to send the Dodgers to their 5th defeat out of their last 6. But do they have a rally in store? A 2-2 to Jock Peterson. Shoots one to the left side for a base hit. Muncie's headed for the plate. Blanco's throw goes into second. A pinch hit RBI single for Jock Peterson, and it's 4-2.
That kind of approach, that kind of swing gives you a lot of confidence that this hot streak for Jock Peterson can continue. If he does that, they're going to have to slowly start to move the shift around, and then all of a sudden he might have some bigger holes to the pull side where he hits the ball a lot harder, and actually the way his swing naturally is, a little bit better for the pull side. But boy, that was a very nice piece of hitting.
He's driven in 5 this weekend, and it does get Chase Utley to the plate representing the tying run. To reiterate, 4 for 5 with 2 long balls against Dyson Lifetime. Here's the first one. Ball 1. Tony Watson getting ready. Little bit of a surprise he wasn't ready earlier to face Utley. This is in the pitcher's spot, so one way or another it was going to be a left-handed hitter for the Dodgers. All Dave Roberts has available today. One and one.
Tony Watson so far this year has got reverse splits working. Righties are only hitting 130 off him. Lefties are hitting over 300. Maybe Bruce Bochy looking at the numbers on the short term right now.
Dodgers with 1 in the 6th, 1 so far in the 7th, trying to chip away. It was a 4-0 deficit. Dyson to Utley with a 1-1. Chase takes a change for ball 2. Fastball for strike 2.
Chase read it right. This ball just doesn't tail. Dyson's ball normally really would leak completely off the plate. That one was more of a 4-seamer that stayed straight.
One on, one out. 2-2. Ball 3.
The way Chase hits Dyson, I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Roberts starts Peterson. Statistics tells you that he sees him real well. Probably not going to strike out. Biggest risk is a line drive double play, but you also have the risk that if it's a ground ball, you probably hit into one. Are you aggressive?
Seems like they've hit into their fair share of line drive double plays lately. Peterson's RBI single has it at 4-2. He's off for first with one out. Dyson gets ready again for this payoff. He does run, and Utley fouls it off.
The equation works. You got a guy at the plate that owns the pitcher, sees him well. Jock Peterson with a conservative lead. He's not wanting to steal the base, but they do want him moving.
Sees him well. The longer it goes, the more it tends to swing in the hitter's advantage. This will be the 7th pitch Dyson has had to throw to him. Top of the order due next. There he goes again on strike 3. Peterson safe at second, but Utley the second out of the inning.
Not the result that Dave Roberts was expecting, and again it's a 4-seam fastball, not the 2-seamer that really tails away and it locks Chase up. Mr. Posey slips a little bit. Jock Peterson got a very nice jump. Slid in safely.
So it's up to Chris Taylor with 2 out. Doubled and scored his last time. Here comes Dyson. Taylor hits a hard ground ball, scooped up at short by Crawford, and that's the inning. They get 1. And we stretch in a 4-2 game in San Francisco. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. and by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Back in San Francisco for the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning. Jock Peterson is now in right field after his pinch hit single. That sends Kike Hernandez from right to third. Kyle Farmer out. And Adam Liberatore checks into the game, trying to help turn the page on the bullpen struggles in this series so far.
His personal ERA is 0.00, but the bullpen has struggled.
Ball one on Kelby Tomlinson. 12 runs in 8 1/3 this weekend.
Overall, Joe, if you look at this, last year was a strength, a huge strength of the Dodgers at 3.38. They were 4th in baseball in ERA out of the bullpen. Right now, they rank 22nd.
Ball on a strike on Tomlinson.
Starting pitching and offense can get in a tough rhythm. Starter like Alex Wood or Clayton Kershaw can not get run support. But what really makes it hurt is when the bullpen is just not doing their job at all. It really accentuates the losses and frustrates you when you can't finish off the wins. And you also get wear and tear. People forget about that subtle cost of a bullpen being up and down, because guys have to get up and do the work of the guy that went in because he couldn't get the job done. So the usage of the guys gets greater.
Liberatore strikes out Tomlinson, who'd been hot as of late. One away in the 7th. So JT Chagua headed down to the bullpen for Dave Roberts. Not a comfortable world to live in as a manager when it's not really anybody that you feel like you can trust getting consistent results from at the moment.
A good bullpen functioning well can make a manager and a pitching coach look really, really smart. Keeps the gray hairs down too.
Here's Blanco. Ball one. How stressful was your time as a pitching coach?
For the Texas Rangers in that ballpark, it was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
We didn't have a real big budget that was invested into the pitching staff.
I had to spend it all on your salary.
Oh, I don't know about that. The pitching coach salaries. They're not
one and one.
Not as big as you think.
That was more a backhanded joke at you, not at pitching coaches.
Yep. I almost like they're paying you to go to school, but it's not that much.
2-1. Seager, Hernandez, and Kemp due up for the Dodgers in the 8th, likely against Tony Watson. Liberatore's 2-1. Blanco hits a ground ball up the middle. Austin Barnes with a backhand, throws high, and it pulls Muncy off of the bag. Blanco's speed forced Barnes to hurry it, and an infield single with one out.
Austin Barnes knows exactly where first base is when he attempts this throw, but that's just a really hard throw to make as an athlete. See a lot of times maybe a guy who plays second a lot maybe bounce this ball over there, so you just try and get it on line. You don't care about the height as much.
One on, one out. Here's Alan Hansen. Oh, high throw from Liberatore that Muncy's able to grab.
Libby just stepped towards first base, but dropped the elbow a little bit. Muncy's had to show his speed and athleticism and jumping ability in a very short time.
They've got him picked off at first. And Seager tags him out.
Goes on first move. The knee is going straight up, thinking he's going, maybe going home. A very nice move right there. After it was over, a lot of applause on the Dodger bench, like guys were getting a read on him that he wanted to go.
Now 1-0 pitch to Alan Hansen. He hits a high pop fly up into that bright sunshine. Kemp and Seager. Seager calmly makes an over-the-shoulder catch to end the inning, and he'll lead off the 8th. Dodgers down 4-2 in the series finale. Preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The Dodgers have some work to do if they're going to make it a happy flight to Arizona. Coming up after the game, we'll hear from Kenta Maeda, as well as the skipper, Dave Roberts. Ned and Jay here will break down what we hope is a Dodger win to salvage a split in this series.
All right, John, they're going to try to come from behind against a couple new guys in there for the Giants. Shelby Tomlinson at second. And Tony Watson, his 12th appearance out of the Giants bullpen, begins with a strike on Corey Seager. Watson's given up just 1 run in his first 11 appearances. It's ahead of Seager 0-2. Pitched game 1 of this series, and the Dodgers got a couple hits against him, but he was able to get out of it with no damage. Oh, 2. Ball 1. Rolls one that'll sneak through for a leadoff single. So Corey Seager setting the table here in the 8th inning, and the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Kike Hernandez.
Light the flame. Big time motivation for the bench and the next hitter.
And this is a guy that has the ability to tie it with 1 swing. Watson against Hernandez in a 4-2 game 8th inning. Posey wants it away. Got it at the knees, strike 1. Hernandez has reached twice. One day after sitting the doubleheader out with a stomach bug. Walked and drove in a run with a single in the 6th. Oh, and 2. Watson, the 32-year-old, in his 8th season in the majors. Former Pirate, former Dodger. Lets the 0-2 fly. Hernandez leaves it up.
Dodgers have yet to win when trailing this late in the game. 0-10.
The comebacks kind of became the expectation last year, that 104-win campaign. So far this year, just 2 come from behind wins. A pop up on the right side of the infield. Belt for the first out.
Tony Watson par for the course. The reverse splits, gets the righty out, gives up the hit to the lefty.
And now Matt Kemp. Watson's splits holding true. You'd like for Kemp's to hold true as well, because he's been one of the best hitters in baseball this year against lefties. Here's the first pitch foul. Seen the ball really fly well today. There is a breeze, and for most of the afternoon it seemed to be out. That's a ground ball to third. They get 1 at second and turn a double play. Tony Watson with a scoreless 8th just went the leadoff single. 4-2 San Francisco.
On Wednesday, May 9th, when the Dodgers host Arizona. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance at Dodger Stadium and take home a Justin Turner walk-off home run bobblehead. Presented by State Farm. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Liberatore worked a scoreless 7th at Chagua for the 8th.
JT has had some very nice outings out of the Dodger bullpen. In some ways has been one of the pieces that has settled it down when it has done well.
Former two-way player at Rice. He's a full-time starter in the lineup for much of his career. That would come in as a late inning reliever. But hit above 300 in his time at Rice. Part of the order against him here in the 8th inning. His first pitch to Buster Posey. Taken for a strike and a slider. Looking ahead to the Dodger half of the 9th. Grandal, Muncy, and Barnes the due-ups. With Verdugo, the lone man left on Dave Roberts' bench. 0-2. Chagua strikes out Posey to open the 8th inning.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And they were all high quality pitches. Oh, that's very nasty. Showing him some balls that break right, left, and then one that goes left to right.
Hunter Strickland, Giants closer, getting ready for the 9th inning. Chagua getting ready to face Bell.
Low ball hitter against a low ball pitcher. They go strength against strength.
This is away with a fastball, 1-0. JT, a self-described neat freak. Place is always perfectly clean because he says he can't, number one, stand to sit still. And number two is always kind of tinkering, moving stuff around, looking for something to do, looking for something to clean up. Bell takes ball 2. It says his mind tends to work the same way when he pitches. He wants so badly to be perfect, which sometimes he admits can work as a detriment. Big part of why he's a professional athlete, but it's also something he has to battle. 2-1.
Change up right there. A little bit more confidence in that pitch. The league pretty much knows him as a 2-pitch pitcher with the running fastball, sinker, slash, and then that slider. But that one he took off from 94 down to 86.
Is 2-1. Bell takes it low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bell to walk in a double today. His double back in the 3rd. Drove in the last Giants run. 4-0 since then. It's a 1-out walk. Second free pass that Belt's drawn today. Up comes Longoria.
Done nothing but hit the ball in the air today. A home run, fly out to right, fly out to center.
Home run that he hit. We were talking about how high it seemed he hit it, how it just kept on going, back spinning its way out of here. It's one of the highest home runs hit all season as far as the launch angle.
That's why it got a chance to get a ride on that wind.
Here's an 0-1 to him. Tailed back into the zone. Grounded to short. Seager to second one. Barnes to first, not in time. Fielder's choice, 2 out.
JT gets him to hit it on the ground. Corey Seager ranging to his right, plants and gets it over there on a good feed. But those long throws, you very rarely get a decent runner.
2 away for Crawford. We talk about the tough season plus Brandon Crawford has had. Last year hit around 200 much of the season, finished strong, but the overall body of work wasn't great offensively. What wasn't talked about a ton is everything he was going through personally last year. It was a very tough year for his family. April 12th, his sister-in-law died from an asthma attack. She was a young mother of 2. Obviously his wife very close to her, his wife's sister. They immediately, middle of the night, hopped on the road and drove down to Southern California to be with that side of the family. And to be back with the team the next night. Hit an emotional home run that next night, but wasn't going to use it as an excuse. Did say, though, road trips, looking back on it, felt a little bit longer. It was harder to be away. Takes here, 2 balls, no strikes. The mind pulled away from the park to the real world things at home. Ground ball up the middle. Barnes has it, gets it to Seager, ends the inning. Couple scoreless relief innings for the Dodgers today. Can they rally in the 9th? It's Grandal, Muncy, and Barnes coming up down 4-2. Mark Melanson out, putting together one heck of a campaign. Hasn't given up any runs over his last 5 outings and has converted 4 saves in a row.
Going to face a couple of left-handed hitters to start the 9th inning, and he hasn't given up a hit to a left-handed hitter. And he is off to a very hot start, and the Dodgers are going to turn this equation around. They're going to have to do it against his numbers.
Grandal, Muncy, and Barnes coming up. Final game these teams will play against each other until mid-June, when the Giants come down to Dodger Stadium. Final trip for the Dodgers here to San Francisco until the last 3 games of the year. Grandal 0 for 3 this afternoon and 1 for 14 in the series. Strickland's 1-0. This is for ball 2. Three balls and no strikes. This is the second time already that Strickland has thrown 3 consecutive days. First time that he did it, he got 3 consecutive saves.
Managers don't like to do that very often, especially with the long season ahead. Bruce Bochy has been very aggressive with his bullpen use during this series.
Down the middle, 3-1. We've seen him twice change pitchers mid at bat. Kind of had to be aggressive in the first game yesterday with as bad as Chris Stratton was, trying to survive that to win 3 of 4 against LA. Caught the corner, full count.
Yasmani not sure this was a strike. He's had a few. I'm sure they've gone back and looked at on video that Maeda didn't get at the top of the strike zone.
Strickland against Grandal starting the 9th. The payoff.
Bruce Bochy looked like he was sitting back in the Giant bench, you know, not up on the railing where he normally is. I don't know if he's a little superstitious in the 9th now or just kind of resting back there.
Long series, you know, doubleheader yesterday.
Maybe Strickland doesn't like to look at him up there on the railing. Hey, Skip, you do me a favor, just kind of bury yourself over there. I don't want you to look nervous when I'm out here.
Another payoff. Grandal lines one to center field, sends Hernandez back for the first out.
Yasmani really staring it down and giving it a bark. It's always safer to bark when you're farther away from the umpire. Feels good for you and doesn't cost you anything.
Muncy came on for Bellinger after the 6th inning. Still no word why Bellinger's out of the game, but continued what Cody'd been doing. Singled, came in to score. Takes ball 1. Giants got 3 in the first on a Longoria home run. That's the big swing and the difference in this game. They added 1 in the 3rd on a belt double. Dodgers single runs in the 6th and the 7th. Muncy takes a strike. The 1-1. This is ball 2. Strickland's not had quite as good command as we've seen him have most of his outings.
Sometimes when you've been used a little bit and multiple days in a row, one of the first things that leaves you is command. When you feel a little weaker, you can keep up with the velocity and the spin on the ball, but to get to it, a little bit more effort, which kind of ruins your location.
Left it over the plate, but it was sprayed foul. 97 still. 2-2.
A lot of pitchers in the big leagues would like to throw the ball 97 when they're a little bit tired.
Yeah.
A lot of amateurs would like to just try that once.
A lot of amateurs' arms would tear off.
Yeah.
97. Dodgers trying to get the tying run to the plate. Strickland, the Muncy, 2-2. Got it.
Down to their last out because of this breaking ball right here. Straight down, straight over the middle of the plate, but that late breaking movement after a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, pretty hard to hit.
Up to Barnes to try and keep it alive. Outside, ball one. It's on to Phoenix after this one for 4 with the first place Diamondbacks starting tomorrow night. Barnes almost gets hit. 2-0.
Any way he can reach. There's a hot bat on deck that has lightning in his hands. Barnes gets on. Peterson, he can reach the right field wall. He can hit the splash zone.
Well, Barnes no hits in this series, but he's walked a few times. He's been hit twice. Alex Verdugo has a bat if it gets that far. Ball 3 on Barnes.
Probably going to take 2 now. A lot of times with guys with really good stuff, you wouldn't take 2 because you don't get that many pitches to hit, but he has shown a lack of command in this inning.
Three and 1. Fly ball to center field. Gorkas Hernandez. The Giants have taken 3 of 4 from the Dodgers.
This game has been like a lot of others. Poor timing when the offense is not done well. The starting pitching is solid. The bullpen was solid today. They just can't match it up where they get all the different components working in order. They'll try again in Arizona.
Evan Longoria's 3-run home run winds up being the difference. Player of the game brought to you by Lexus, though, is once again Ty Blach. Holds the Dodgers to 2 runs over 6 innings and picks up another victory against LA, who he has owned in his short major league career. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, the rest of our crew in San Francisco, Joe Davis saying so long from AT&T Park. Dodgers fly to Phoenix. We'll talk to you as the Dodgers and Diamondbacks open up a series tomorrow night at 6:40. For now, stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins.